What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are absolutely killing it out on the tables. Today we're going to take a look at this session where I played about 5,000 hands at a little bit over 5 hours, about 1,000 hands an hour. Wound up about even throughout this session, but got in some real interesting situations and some good hands to take a look at. Let's jump into it. First hand we're going to take a look at is Pocket Kings from Under the Gun +2. We open to 3x and we get 3-bet from the big blind. I come back over the top and 4-bet. This player has a 0% fold to 4-bet and he re-raises, and I thought there was a good chance that we were going to be up against aces here, but sometimes you just gotta jam it in and hope that you're not. Maybe it's an ace king, maybe it's kings, maybe it's queens. Happened to be aces this time, unfortunately, and we wind up losing our biggest loss in big blinds of the night on this hand. Nice hand. This hand is at a 25 NL table. We have Queen Jack in the cutoff. Make it 3x. We get called by the button and the small blind. The big blind folds and wind up flopping a gut shot. Backdoor flush draws. Two players in the flop. Both have relatively high fold to flop bet numbers. So I continuation bet here for half pot. And we get called by the button and the small blind also calls. But we wind up catching our card on the turn. Gives us the Broadway straight. The small blind leads out for $4, a little bit less than 2/3 of the pot. I decide I'm not going to slow play here, and I make it $11, a little bit smaller than 3x, and the small blind jams all in. Not getting rid of this one. It is the nuts. He winds up missing his full house on the river, and we pick up a big pot right there, and this player absolutely blew up in the chat box. He did not understand how I could possibly be in that hand with Queen Jack, how I bet on the flop. Well, sometimes you gotta make that play, man. Sorry, bud. Next hand we're looking at is at a 10 NL table. We have Ace King on the button. We have a raise from middle position to 2.5x. We get a call from the cutoff, and I am not going to make it cheap to play here. I make it $1.10 to go, a little bit larger than 4 times the open bet, and we don't get rid of any of these players. There's $3.45 in the pot. Checks back to us on the flop. I just check back with this draw heavy board and these players who have very low fold to flop bet numbers and very high VPIP, so a lot of these cards could be in their range. But when we hit our king, I think our hand is probably good here. The middle position player leads out for almost pot though. He's only got $6 total in his stack in a 345 pot. Stack to pot ratio is a little bit smaller than 2-to-1. I'm just gonna put him all in here to make any draw that could be out there pay, since this board is so draw heavy. And I think that we could get any king kicker card lower than ours to call here, since he is so pot committed. And he does call with the flush draw and winds up missing it on the river, and we pick up a good one right there. Alright, we're getting some big action here at the 100 NL. We have pocket aces in the big blind. We get a limp from the small blind to our right, but we are not going to let this player see a cheap flop. Make it $4 to go. He comes back over the top for 13, and I am hoping he's slow playing something. You know, ace king, maybe kings, maybe queens. So I come back over the top when he 3-bets me. I make it 29 to go, a little bit bigger than 2 times his 3-bets, and he makes a call. There's now $58 in the pot. He's pot committed with 48 and change behind him. We wind up flopping top set. He just jams all in. Fucking perfect flop for us. Make the call. He has pretty much no outs going in, and we wind up picking up a large pot right there at the 100 NL. Another pocket aces hand at the 25 NL. We have an under the gun limp from a regular type player. I isolate to 5x. He does make a call. 285 in the pot. I bet 2/3 on the flop. He makes a call. Turn is a deuce. I bet $4. He makes a call. He's either on a flush draw or he has something like ace queen, and at the very worst he has pocket fives for a full house. There's now $14.35 in the pot. I want to make a bet size that queen, ace queen, or queen king is going to call here. Since the flush missed, I think think a full house would have re-raised at some point here or let out on the river unless he's trying to trap me. So I make it 875. I think that's the perfect size to get any queen X to call here. And he does make a call. Not sure what he had. Probably some sort of queen hand. Good pot right there though. I remember this hand happening. Couldn't believe it. Alright, so we got pocket fives in the hijack seat. We get a limp from under the gun and under the gun +1. We also just call. Flop is 10 high, 2 diamonds. Not great for our pocket fives. So we just check back. But we hit our 5 on the turn. Big blind leads out. We get a call from the player under the gun. I am not just going to call here. I go 3 times the open bets. Prince of Poker comes back over the top here. And I thought about it. I'm like, the only hand that could possibly be playing this way is a set or a straight, especially with this very low aggression number right there. Maybe he's got 2 pair, and hopefully he does, but I'm gonna make it pay, jam all in, and hope that he doesn't have 4-3, and he does wind up having 4-3, which he played under the gun. Some players just amaze me with what they will play, in what position they will play, but you gotta love being in pots with people like this. That 5 actually wound up killing our hand. We thought it made our hand. Move on to the next one. Here we go. We got pocket kings against pocket aces. Second time tonight we have had pocket kings run into aces, and the aces limp from the cutoff. How many times do we gotta say this is not a good play with aces? I make it 5x to go from the big blind, and once again we just get a limp call from the aces in the cutoff. There's now 550 in the pot. There is about $27 in this player's stack. I am figuring out bet sizing to try to get that entire stack at this point. Little do I know that he has pocket aces in his hand, but I bet he calls, and that is the money card on the turn, hitting him with the Hein. Now this player is pretty much pot committed. Gonna make a good bet size so that we can get it all in by the river. I go a little bit less than 2/3. Give him a chance to chase if he has any of the draws that could be out there. He comes back over the top. He waited until the most unopportune point during this hand to show aggression. He could have shown it at any time before this, and he would have been in the lead. But once that king hits, he's playing from way behind, and he doesn't know it. I'm all in. He's not getting rid of it at that point. He says, "Aw, shit. I let him get there. I let him get there for cheap, and now he stacked me." Look at this progression throughout. 18%, 10%, and then when he raises me, I'm at 95.45% to win this pot. Oops. Here's a fun one. We are 7-handed, 100 NL. The player to our right posts and calls pre-flop. We isolate to 5x with ace-king. We have a short stacker to our left who 3-bets to $14. This player plays a pretty tight range, but ace-king against a short stack is usually going to be getting all in. There is a little bit of fold equity left since he folds 50% to 4-bets, so I am just going to be jamming it all in here. He gets it all in with the queens. Coin flip right here. 7 high. Unfortunately, we've got 3s, 2 and out, and an ace, and boom! There is the ace. 23% on the turn, 100 on the river. Head down to the video description for links to Hold'em Manager, as well as America's Card Room, and all the other poker products that I use. Hit that subscribe button if you guys have not done that yet. Thanks to all the new subscribers. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. If you are enjoying the content, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, leave those in the comment section below. And I'll be back with a new video very soon, but until then, I'll see you guys out on the virtual felt.